everybody, it's all things Tasha. Do you recognize me? Alright. I graduated this weekend, which is why my hair is like this. I know y'all are in shock. You're like, oh my god, she has hair. Yes, I have hair. But I'll talk to you about that in a little bit. Right now I just wanted to do a really quick makeup review. Yes, I'm messing with the hair. First things first, I wanted to talk to you all about a product that I received for review. I received a Covergirl 3-in-1 foundation. I received this courtesy of Covergirl from BzzAgent, and they asked me to give it a try, so I'm letting you know that. And the color that I chose is the 865, and I'm wearing that right now on my face. Along with that, I'm wearing the TIGI blush that we received in the last glossy box. And then I'm also wearing a Stila lip glaze in Tropical Punch. Let's see, yeah. I'm a little rusty, which I think is a really pretty color on me. So let me give you a basic review about a couple of these items. I can tell you right now, I absolutely love the Stila lip glaze. I think I always love lip gloss, no matter who pretty much makes them. There is one that I received in one of my previous hauls that has a little bit too much sparkle that I'm really not feeling. But otherwise, I really like Stila lip glazes. Now, the blush that I'm wearing, the TIGI blush, and this is in Haute, Haute. Just so you could be able to see, yeah, it's shiny. We got this in last month's glossy box. Well, actually, I got it this month because it was supposed to be in the April glossy box. And I'm wearing this blush on my face right now. Now, to me, it went on a little shiny and a little powdery, but I'm not thinking that that's really showing up on camera. And overall, not a bad blush. But the biggest review that I wanted to do for you is the Covergirl Outlast. So I received it courtesy of Covergirl, and I made some notes because I've never really done a makeup review like this before, and I wanted to make sure I did a good job, so I hope you hang on with me. So I made a lot of different things. So first, I'll let you know how I received it. I signed up through BzzAgent and I filled out a lot of surveys, and they asked me if I wanted to participate in their buzz campaign for this. And what I received in the mail was a coupon to pick up this particular foundation. And when I went to the store to cash in the coupon, because I think it was up to $12 or $13 that we could be able to get one. So pretty much it doesn't matter whether or not you received it from the drugstore or Walmart or something like that, you would have been able to get it completely for free. This particular foundation I got for $9.47 at Walmart. And I had a little trouble finding the correct shade. And I don't know if you can tell or not. I think the shade works for me. I ended up picking the 865 ultimately. But let me just tell you about the journey. Yes, I'm showing it quite a bit, and I need a manicure badly. The 865 was not the initial shade that I chose. I actually chose the one in Soft Sable. And what I realized very quickly is that that particular foundation, number one, was too dark. Number two, it also oxidizes. So it was already a shade too dark when I first tried it. And then when it oxidized, it was just completely the wrong shade for me. Now, this particular one, let's see here. It's not Soft Sable. Good God. This is in Tawny. I'm so sorry. There we go. This is in Tawny. Tawny, the problem with this one is it's a shade too light for me, but because this particular foundation oxidizes, I think on camera, I think it's reading pretty okay. But I'm not completely in love with the color match for me. I think I need something in between Tawny and something in between Soft Sable, and I would be happy. I'd hate to go back and buy the other one just to mix it in to get the perfect shade when I already have some foundation that is absolutely perfect. But in a snap, this is not too bad, and especially for the price point, because the normal foundation that I have is 40 something odd dollars. I have the HD what is it? The HD cover, invisible cover, and that's over $40 at a high end store. And so I think for $9.47, if you're willing to deal with the oxidation and wait that out and not exact color match, I think this is good. And the reason I was so excited to try this particular foundation is because people said that it was a dupe for the HD invisible cover. And I figured if I could find something drugstore that would work just as well as something from a high-end store, I wanted to really try it out. So that's one thing. I think it's really affordable. I like the fact that it has this pump. That's really cool. And you can actually lock it in place, which I forgot to do, obviously, when I was putting on my makeup. And I haven't used a ton of it. You can barely see where I've used it, but foundation usually lasts quite a bit, so you're not going to see a lot of usage quite yet. But I would say that it needed a little bit more than what I normally would use. And I'd heard this on other videos. For me, it wasn't exactly 2 pumps. I needed 3, but it might just be because I have a larger face and I needed to have a little bit more blendable coverage, because this one is supposed to be 3-in-1. It's supposed to be a foundation, sunscreen, and it's also supposed to have some concealer in it as well. So let's see, lasting powder, that's so crazy. Lasting power of primer, coverage of a concealer, and blendability of a foundation in one, and it's supposed to be shine free. So I think in order to get the real concealer coverage, you're going to need a little bit more product than what you normally would. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, because normally when I use my high-end foundation, I still end up using concealer. So for this one to do all of those and just need a little bit more product, I don't think it's that bad. However, what I am worried about is that if I'm using a little bit more product over time, this might end up feeling a little bit more expensive, but that's just my thought. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll do a couple more videos, I think, using this, but we'll see where it ends up. So I like the fact that it has the pump and it's in a glass bottle. That's cool. Now, one of the things I did when I was first trying to pick out a shade, I did a test strip on my hand. And with the soft sable, it seemed a little runny. I didn't have any problem with the Tawny, so it might just been an odd bottle or something like that. And even with the soft sable, when I shook it a little bit, it was perfectly fine. So that's the thing. And just in case you wanted to know, I'm the Makeup Forever HD Invisible Foundation in 175, and this is the Covergirl 865 in Tawny. So it's not an exact match for me, but moving on. First impressions, when I went to the store, there's not a lot of color ranges for my skin tone, and I don't think I'm the darkest African American woman out there, and nor am I the lightest. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. I have a lot of coral undertones, and I felt like this foundation was very yellow. And not quite doing what it needs to do. But it is reading pretty good on camera, so I'm happy about that. And it's a little hot. Just a little bit. I'm not used to having my hair on my shoulder, so that's one of the things. But I've been in a cold building all day, and I'm finally home, and it's a little bit warmer. But that's one of the things. I only had 2 color choices, and one was too light and one is too dark. So I think if I had access to the CoverGirl Queen collection, I think I'd be really, really happy and really, really pleased. But in my area, there's not a lot of African American women, and the coupon was not for the Queen collection. So I think if I just had no other alternatives, then this would actually work quite well. Um, let's see. I'm not usually interested in drugstore foundations, but people have been talking about this particular one a lot. And so, the one thing I am happy for is that I have sensitive skin and it didn't break me out. I've tried it a couple of times before going on camera. I did a couple of test stripes and things like that just to make sure it's not going to mess my skin up and have me all broken out. So I'm happy about that because there have been times in the past where I've tried a drugstore foundation and I was broke out from head to toe. Let's see. Some of the minuses. The cap on this is not overly secure, but since you can secure the pump, I'm not as worried about that if I had to put it in my makeup bag for travel or something like that. The lock on the pump is a nice feature, and from what I understand from looking at other drugstore brands, having a pump on a foundation is not something that's typical. So this, I mean, I think they did a good job with the product. Um, let's see here. The next thing, I would say be careful with selecting your shade, particularly if you're African American woman. But I think any woman in general, I would take a foundation or two that I already have and take that with me to the drugstore to see if you could find something closer to your range. Because once I got the Soft Sable home, I realized that it was nowhere close to any of the foundations that I had on my vanity. Now, when I brought home this particular one, it was a lot closer to what I already had. This one seemed kind of like on the lighter end of the spectrum of what I had on my vanity table, but it was a lot closer. So I think if you're trying to pick out a shade, don't just like use your eyes. I think you really need to bring something that you kind of already have as a means to figure that out. Let's see. Now, the good thing is it is very blendable. I liked using it. I was using it with my Sigma flat top kabuki and it did blend out really nice. But I didn't like the fact that it was so yellow initially on my skin. But it did melt in and it does look, I think in my opinion, I think it looks really good. And even right now when I touch my face, it doesn't feel like overly dry, but it also doesn't feel wet. And I'm a very oily girl. Now I have not tried this out for a full 8 hours, but usually I do like an hour test and see what it does. And I'm not having a problem within an hour with this makeup. Even with the HD invisible cover, after about 2 hours, I need to kind of blot. So I figure that's a reasonable kind of thing. I'm a very oily girl in the T-zone, so I'm not expecting this makeup to be completely perfect in that regard. But once you buff it in, it's really invisible. It has good coverage, and I really liked it. So I'll probably use it again for a couple of other things. Is it my number one choice? No. But for drugstore, I'm actually pretty impressed with it. So we'll see what happens from there. I'll definitely try to work it into some of the other things that I'm already using. It is very blendable, but I do wish I could get, like, if I could find the perfect shade in this, I actually would switch out from my HD invisible cover with Makeup Forever. So I think with this particular foundation, the biggest issue is shade selection. So other than that, I'm pretty happy and I hope you enjoyed this review. It's something a little different. Once again, just to let you know, I did receive the product for review. So I'm giving you my honest opinion. I'm not absolutely in love with it just because of the color shade issue. So, I mean, for $9.47, it's a pretty good product. So, yeah, I just wish I could get the color in like the perfect color for me. And I also wish it didn't have the oxidation issue. So I think if you can deal with those two factors, not necessarily finding the perfect shade, but if you are willing to put a little time and wait for it to blend out, then you'll get where you need to be. So that I'm pretty happy about. And so with that being said, that is my makeup review, ladies and gentlemen. Well, mostly the ladies, because fellas aren't on this station. Y'all know that. So, with that being said, that's all things Tasha. This is my first makeup and product review that I received courtesy, and so I'm excited. So, yay! I feel like I'm brand spanking to the YouTube makeup world, and I feel like, oh, I'm on my way to being a beauty blogger. Yay! So, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, Twitter, my blog on WordPress, all things Tasha. I'll leave you the details in my inbox, right below in the details. And then, if you like me, hit like. And if you like me, hit subscribe. So, that's all for now. I have a couple of other things that I'm going to review today, so you'll be seeing me a little bit later. So, yay!